Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Way of Life podcast. I'm your host, Gus Holland. Today, I wanted to go over self-care as a topic of discussion, especially given the new year. I think it's something that most people either overlook or take for granted. I actually got this topic idea from speaking with my wife about the whole hustle or grind mentality that's commonly pushed on especially younger men, on everybody, but especially younger men. I just wanted to focus on different examples of self-care and how you can incorporate those in your day-to-day life. Some of the examples seem a little cliche because there's so many if you listen to any type of success-based podcast or book or TED Talks or whatever, there's the whole thing with millionaires and billionaires having a certain thing, that little procedure that they do in the morning or at night or whatever. And it's kind of glorified in my opinion. The whole normal average Joes listen to that, to them saying, oh, well, I wake up I'm just going to do an example. I don't know exactly, but I wake up at 6 a.m. and then before I do anything, I write down what I'm grateful for. And then I stretch, and then I take a shower, and then I work out, and then drink some coffee, blah, blah, blah. They list 20 fucking things that they're doing before you wake up. And it kind of puts them up on a pedestal to where common folk or people that are just stuck in a 9-to-5 job and trying to either get out of that or just better their situation. They look at that as almost man, they're doing so much, they're accomplishing so much in a day and all that. Most millionaires and billionaires, they work hard, but they don't have to go to that 9-to-5, and they don't have burnout from just doing day-to-day tasks repetitively at some shit they don't like. You know what I mean? Even if the millionaires and billionaires don't like what they're doing, they're still making a fuck ton of money. That the money stress is the main thing for emotional and mental problems in modern times. I would also argue that would be the link to a lot of other problems, such as addictions and you name it, divorces. There's actually a statistic on that for divorces. It's a large percentage, but a large percentage of married couples, that's their number one argument. And if it's not their number one argument, it's probably in the top 3 is something to do with money, either spending habits of one or both parties, or trying to make more, or trying to spend less, or trying to get out of debt, or whatever. You take away the money problems and there's not a whole lot to complain about after that, besides I guess millionaire problems. I kind of going on a tangent about that, but the whole point of it was that those morning routines or afternoon routines or whatever, they're sold off as some great insight or knowledge that you could use to make yourself better or to get to where they're at or something like that. And it's really excuse me, it's really just them accomplishing personal tasks right off the bat because they have to go run a business or whatever. The main thing I would focus on that, though, is the one thing they do have in common that a lot of 9-to-5 people don't do is taking time for themselves. So, writing down what you're grateful for, meditating, working out, organizing your closet so every morning you wake up, you're not freaking out trying to piece together an outfit or whatever, tripping over shirts and shit that have fallen on the floor or what, like whatever. That's just like a random example, but like those little things, do like set a pace for your day. Like if you take the time to like make yourself, whether it's coffee or tea, whatever. But I'm going to use tea as an example because caffeine is, tea has caffeine, but it's not like crazy like a coffee or a pre-workout or something. So tea, if you take the time to make some tea, we'll say, I don't know, takes you a few minutes to boil the water, like, and make it right. Like, I'm not talking about microwaving water and all this shit, this like quick fix shit, because one, microwaving the water and just like blasting it, like trying to get it done as soon as possible. I get that you might be in a rush in the morning, but you're already like, you're setting the pace for your day by not taking enough time to even just make yourself a fucking drink. Sorry for cussing. I try to stray away from that, but if you boil the water for a couple minutes and then get the tea bag and you sit there and you make sure that the tea doesn't burn, get too hot, whatever, sit on the actual metal of the pot that you're boiling the water in, or what, whatever. That alone is going to just give you like 5 minutes of just like focus on tea making, like if you can just stand there and do that for 5 minutes and get some tea ready, or coffee, whatever. Most people lean toward coffee, but if you can get that ready and just focus on like just doing one thing, like if you're just waking up 5 minutes before you need to go to work, like for a guy, like you wake up 5 minutes before you need to go, throw on some pants and a shirt, you like do a quick like brush of your teeth, deodorant, and like haul ass to work. And then you're like stressed out on the way to work because you're going to be within a 1 to 2 minute gap of like either being late, being on time, being a little early, whatever. And you're just like, you're starting your day off in chaos, basically, and in a stress, like you've already induced stress into your life for the day. So I guess that's where the importance of like waking up early in the morning, not even early, just like you need to find a time, like look at the time you go to work and then map out what's a reasonable time to wake up before I need to leave to go to work that is going to give me enough time to do, just aim for one thing. If you're not doing anything, just aim for one thing that is going to be self-care related for yourself. Whether that's like, even if it's just doing a few push-ups, or stretching, if you have like a tight back or something, like stretching, meditating, taking a shower if you prefer to take showers in the morning or whatever. Like you need to just wake up and give yourself that self-care, like even if it's just one thing. Too many people like that grind mentality is like pushed and pushed and pushed. And to an extent, it to an extent, it does work. Like, but that's what you're prioritizing. You're prioritizing the grind. Sorry, almost sneezed. You're prioritizing the grind and not yourself and not your family and all that. So, and I know from experience, like I started a fencing business, meaning build fences, like not sword fighting. And it was like, I did pretty well, like till COVID hit or whatever. That's a whole different story. But, I prioritized that business and like grinding and grinding and grinding. So I would like work. I'd do that same thing, like that example of like waking up 5 to 10 minutes before you need to leave and just like blasting through your morning and then going to work. That was me, so like just hauling ass to work. My thing was energy drinks because, I didn't want to have to deal with like hot coffee and all this stuff. And most of the time I'm in Texas, it's hot. So I want a cold drink. So I'd go for cold energy drinks. I mean, at the worst, not the worst, at the most stressful or most intense moment of that part of my life, it's like waking up 10 minutes before work, getting ready at like rapid pace, going to work, getting to work like right on time. And that's because I was hauling ass. Performing some of my, hour or two of work tasks, then drinking an energy drink, while I'm working. And then, most of the time skipping lunch and then drinking another energy drink. Then getting off of work there. And that's a full-time salary job. And then going straight into, building fences, checking on the employees, like you name it, going and doing quotes. There's like 10 different things that I could fill the time with after that first job. So I was like always busy. And then sometimes coming home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then still like not, like there's still having other stuff that I hadn't done yet. Like basically almost never working out, because when are you going to work out during that time? Like, am I going to start work out at 11 o'clock, go to bed at 12, wake up at 6? Like I can't, like, I'm not on performance enhancing drugs or any other stuff. And like, I can't function on like 5 hours of sleep. Like I eventually get sick or something happens, or you, lose sight of like your hydration, especially like in Texas heat, stuff like that. So I've had a problem with that too. Twice in like 6 years, had some form of like, heat exhaustion or heat stroke or what have you. And it was pretty bad, but the whole point of like this, like poorly put together chain of events is to show y'all an example of like how you can absolutely just grind yourself into complete mental and physical exhaustion, and still be lacking, because like your business might be doing good, but then you're like, what about your health? What about your family? What about your friends? Like any of that, it's often not worth it. And I'm not saying it like entrepreneurship, business building, all that is 100% worth it. But the whole grind mentality of doing everything on your own, and negating all other aspects of life is like unhealthy for you and everyone around you. So, culture, I guess I'm not sure. I don't think it's definitely not worldwide, but it's in other countries as well, but especially in America, the culture of like the fast life or the grind life, or whatever you want to call it, has crept into, I mean, this is over the past decades, like several decades, has crept into gym life or like workout culture, whatever you want to call it. That's like, if you look at a lot of like viral videos for just exercise in general, like they're like pre-workout related, energy drink related, PED, performance enhancing drug related. You're trying to be like the biggest or the most viral or whatever, or you're doing like crazy shit that's like clearly dangerous and like not good for your health at all, but you're just like trying to go viral or whatever, which like whatever, like I'm not trying to hate on it, but I'm just saying like the culture has like shifted more and more and more into unhealthy activity, like turning a healthy thing. Like it was a healthy community based thing that has slowly turned into a very like solo alpha type grind influenced culture. And that's not 100% like all the way around. Like there's still like plenty of great communities, amazing people that including influencers. Like there's some influencers that are fucking awesome men and women, so it's not like, I'm not trying to blanket statement anything, but I don't know, I don't really know what, just take what I'm what I'm saying for what exactly that, just like some statements from a guy talking to a damn microphone, in his office. The other thing is like, as far as, I don't know, like a lot of videos, like, sorry, I'm saying like a lot. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts and I'm using that as a damn buffer, I guess. But gym wise, for me personally, this is only for me, and I'm not suggesting this is like the correct thing to do or whatever. 9 times out of 10, I'm listening to music to block out the music of like like the crappy music that they're playing at the gym, or something like that. Like if there's either like decent music, no music, or it's like low enough, then I'm not like wearing earbuds and stuff. I prefer to like, I don't know, I guess just have a very like basic and focused approach toward exercise. Like I prefer to not have earbuds in. I prefer to work out. Like I like, to a lot of modern lifters, it's almost like they're like, oh, you're crazy or whatever. Like, but I don't know. Like I just prefer to not use any type of like stimulant, pre-workout, caffeine, whatever, before a workout. I do understand its place, and the pros and cons, of using pre-workouts and stuff like that before a workout. But 9 times out of 10, I prefer like no pre-workout, no caffeine, no food before, at least an hour before. Like I want an hour window before I work out of like nothing in my belly. And then I like to work out just 100% focused on the exercise and like the, mind muscle connection or whatever. And doing my sets, I kind of just zone out and just focus on the muscle contraction or the quality of rep or, whatever. And I don't know. I feel like that's a better way to truly focus on like the health aspect of it. That being said, my way is not always going to be right. Like right for everybody, like that's the way I prefer it. Some people prefer, and it's fun to like blast some fucking like pre-workout, especially if you're like working out with friends and stuff and y'all hype each other up and blah, 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 whatever. That's awesome. Currently at the gym I go to, there's not that whole like community aspect of it. There's nobody really, asking for like talking to each other about tips and tricks or advice on ABC or even asking for spots really. Like, I guess, I live in a college town, so it's a different vibe. It's not really too, I guess, friendly. It's kind of like everybody minds their own business or whatever. And so that might just be some long-term conditioning that I have from working out where I work out, I don't know. That's something to think about for sure. I have been invited, a few months ago, I was invited to a local, I guess it'd be considered a powerlifting gym, but they have like a strongman Saturday thing going on. But deal is I work every Saturday. So, until that can change, I won't be able to like go try that out or anything, but it's always, I probably enjoyed that the most, in high school when we had like that sense of community, you'd have like 2 to 5 buddies that you go work out with, and everybody spots each other and blah, 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 I don't know, but hopefully this episode provided y'all with like a couple things to think about. If you want to follow the podcast on Instagram, it's at Whey of Life Podcast. It's WHEY, like the protein. The other thing is there's the hotline, which, hold on 1 second and I'll pull that up. I know it's 512. I'll get it memorized one day. Sorry. Oh, no, it's not. My bad. It is 346-200-7168. You can call or text that number. You can hit up that number to talk about this podcast, suggest future content, future guests, ask a question, whatever. Like, I don't care. But yeah, you can call or text that. And I think that's about it, really. The number one way to help out this podcast and help me out is to share this with a friend and also rate and review on whatever platform you're using to listen to the podcast. It's greatly appreciated. Trying to grow this as big as possible, especially, I don't know. It's a new year, so gotta get some shit going, but I guess that goes back to that whole grind mentality. I've said this before, say it again. I'm going to be having a Motivational Monday episode every Monday, and we're going to continue with these Wednesday episodes, which the Wednesday episodes are normally longer and often have guests on them. Monday stuff is going to be covering, like motivational quotes or tips and tricks or whatever, just a short episode to kind of start your week off right. Hopefully get you going in a good direction and, encourage that self-care thing. If y'all have any ideas on self-care that I left out, feel free to text or call that number. Once again, Instagram's at Way of Life Podcast. Then that hotline number is 346-200-7168. Thank y'all so much for the support, and I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Bye.